All right, so how's it going there, class? Today we're going to work on our Panna Cotta, okay? And so let's go over the ingredients real quick. So we have our gelatin. So we have granulated gelatin. We have water, which is going to be warm water. We have heavy whipping cream, which is about 8 ounces. We have sugar, which is 3 ounces. And then we have salt, which is 1/4 of a teaspoon. We also have buttermilk, and we're going to do 4 ounces. So at the end, you should have about 12 ounces worth of product, and you're going to put it into 2 separate containers. So we have the little clear containers right here that we're going to use. And so if you're doing smaller containers, then you can, portion it up into 4-ounce portions. But for what we have going on, we want to make it look pretty nice. So we're going to just do 2 6-ounce portions, which is going to be really cool for you. So the thing that I wanted to show you guys was there is the sheets of gelatin, which look like this. And the way that you bloom this gelatin is you're just going to take it, and I have a bowl of cold water. And so you take the gelatin sheet and you put it in a cold water, and then it's going to start to get nice and soft for you. And once it gets nice and soft, then I'm going to show you what's going on with that. So the other one is the powdered gelatin, and so this is the one that you're going to get in your packet. And so with yours, you're going to get the little packets that are like this. And so you get a total of 1 ounce of gelatin. So 1 packet is 1/4 of an ounce, which is about 1 tablespoon. And so all you need for this particular recipe is you're going to use half a tablespoon. So you're going to use half a packet for your gelatin. Okay? And so if you take a look at your formula, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the scale, and I'm going to tear it out. And so I have some warm water here, and I'm going to do 1 ounce of warm water. Okay? And so this is where your little mini whisk, so I kind of advise you guys get a little mini whisk or a little mini bowl so you can get that going so that you'll be in good shape. And so now I'm just going to take my gelatin and I'm going to sprinkle it in there just lightly. So in this one it has to bloom. So this one you use the warm water in here. Okay? And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it to bloom to get all of the granules out of there. Okay? So you don't want any of the granules to be left. So you want it to be nice and smooth. And so with this little container that I have here, I still have some of the granules in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure I get all of that out, because that's the gelatin that's going to help to hold up your product later on. So if you leave a lot in your little container, then you're going to have a harder time. And so again, as I come along and I'm taking this, it's a little bit warm, and I'm just whisking it and whisking it, and I'm ensuring that my gelatin is going to dissolve. So it kind of looks like a granulated garlic, but when you get done with it, it should look nice and smooth, almost like a simple syrup or just something that's nice and smooth. And so you want to keep stirring it in the warm water until it all dissolves. Okay? So now we're going to take this and we're going to put it to the side and let it reserve. So it tells you here on your formula, you're going to bloom the gelatin in the water and melt. Combine the cream, the sugar, and the salt in a non-reactive saucepan. And so what I have here is a non-reactive saucepan. And so basically what it means is you want a pan that's not aluminum. If you do an aluminum pan and you start working with it, then your white product is going to turn gray. So remember, you want to use a stainless steel pan, okay, and not a aluminum pan, because aluminum pan is going to turn everything gray. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. I'm going to put it on about a medium setting, okay, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my heavy cream. And I'm gonna add my salt. And again, I'm gonna come over so I'm showing you guys what I'm doing. And so I have my sugar, okay? And again, I want to just sprinkle my sugar in. I don't want it to clump up. So I raise it up a little bit higher, and I just let it drizzle in there, okay? So that it's not so clumpy. So if I dump all of it in there and then start mixing it, then it makes for my product not to turn out as nice as I would like. Okay, so I'm gonna stir that in. And so now it tells you to heat the cream, but not to let it come to a simmer. So what we're doing is we're taking this and we're gonna start to see it warm up a little bit. Okay, and I'm just giving it a quick little stir. Set this over to the side. Move it out of the way for a second. And so now while that's working, I wanted to come back and show you what's going on with the sheets of gelatin. So the sheets of gelatin, I put it inside of some cold water, and then now you can look at it. It almost kind of looks like slime or snot or something like that. So if you happen to get a chance to work with the sheets of gelatin, then this is how you would go ahead and bloom that gelatin, okay? So you just leave it in a cold water until you're actually ready to use it, okay? Now the thing about gelatin that you have to remember, as soon as you put the gelatin in something that's cold, it's gonna draw up and it's going to solidify. So you always want to add your gelatin to something that's warm or to something that's a little bit above room temperature. And then you always temper it into something else that's going to get cold, and you slowly mix it in so that it starts to cool down just a little bit at a time. Because if you put something really cold with the gelatin, then you're going to get something that looks like just curdled eggs, okay? And so now we have that going, and we're heating it up just enough so that we'll be in good shape. And so we're gonna let that sit for just a minute. And so this whole process is probably gonna take you, I guess about 10 to 12 minutes or so. So now I'm gonna go ahead and let this go for just a little bit. But remember, I don't want it to simmer. I just want it to be warm enough so that when I add the gelatin in there, it doesn't harden up right away, okay? So remember, gelatin, when you add it to something cold, it's gonna harden up right away, okay? And that's not gonna be the product that you want. So you have to add the gelatin to something warm as a liaison, and then you add that to something that's cool or something that's going to get colder, okay?